It is written, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. So it seems it shall be for me as these ragged men drag me down ragged streets, not giving me a chance to collect my clothes or my dignity, my jealous husband, the leader of all these jealous husbands who defiled the marriage bed long before I ever did, but I could never say a word, and now I am silenced once more, my screams drowned out by the deafening shouts of their voices echoing across the city walls. Stone her. Stone her. After all, isn't this what I deserve? My only purpose in life was left between those sheets, and now that I am exposed, now that I am found out, these stones are the price I must pay, my sin and lust on full display. Now they all know what I am, offender of the worst crime, a blemish in humanity, though victim of their cruelty, dirty, disgusting, defiled, worthy only of death. Naked I came from my mother's womb, and so it seems to be for me. Naked I shall be sent to my tomb. In the city square, they shove me to the ground where my eyes focus on a pair of sandals. A Pharisee may be sent to condemn me, my offenses listed out before him. The jealous men are almost giddy, I can hear it in their voices, delighting that my choices would finally lead this damaged daughter to her deserved death. I wait for the voice to pronounce my sentence, but to my surprise I hear only silence. Then a slight shifting sound, and as I look around, the sandaled man is writing in the ground. The jealous men are impatient, agitated. Their voices grow louder and harsher. Did he not hear? Look at what I have done. And then he looks at me. And this I cannot explain, but his eyes, they knew me. I knew that they could see everything I'd ever done, but somehow they were full of love. He stands up then, and by his voice I can tell he knows all of the jealous men as well, and he tells them that whichever of them is blameless should throw the first stone at me. And one by one they began to leave, his finger again in the dust of the street, until we are alone, just me and him. And though I know he is without sin, he does not strike. He takes my face in his hands. "Where are your accusers?" he asks. But the jealous men are gone. "Does no one condemn you?" "No, Lord." "Neither do I," says he. "Go and sin no more." He takes off his cloak and drapes it over my bare shoulders, ridding me of my final shame. My tears fall on his sandaled feet. Then he turns and walks off down the street, and to my horror, as I watch, the jealous men ambush him. They beat him and mock him. They remove all his clothes. On his sacred head place a crown of thorns, standing stripped and scorned. And I realize that because of my sin, someone had to die. It should have been me, but he let me go free and is serving the death sentence that I earned. And the confusion surrounds all around and within, that this holy man should take the weight of my sin. The stones that should have killed me are driving nails in his hands. And from that cross, as I watch him bleed, he looks to me and says, "Child, do you believe? Do you believe that as you run back to that bedroom I rescued you from, back to the shame I tried to remove, though you thought this time you'd finally improve? And do you believe that when you are caught and naked and shamed to the street you are brought, that I'll be there waiting just as before, my finger in dust on that temple floor? And do you believe, though this time you knew better, your sin disappears with each sandy letter, that I will sit here wiping tears from your face, condemning you not, my eyes full of grace? As I hang here dying and you lie in sin, do you believe I would do it again? And I would be mortified to admit just how many times this happened, for the answer was no. I did not believe, and time again I found myself naked on the street, having run back to the only security I did believe. The men accepted me for how I was, for they were dirty too, but this man, He surely could not mean what he said. How could those eyes that had seen the purity of heaven look at me and still deem me worthy to live? And how could they love me? It made no sense. It was a mystery too great for me to comprehend. Surely there was a limit to his mercy. Each time I was led back to his sandaled feet, I thought surely this would be the time he told them to stone me. My free trial was up. My 9 lives were spent. Now I deserve death, for I did not repent. But you see, I wanted to be worthy of the death he had died and the life he had given, and I would try so hard to stay away. And I would do better for a few days and think that maybe this time I had earned the price he had paid, but before I knew it, I would again find myself trapped between sheets, trapped in defeat, and led naked back into the streets. I dreaded going to see him, fearing what he would say, but each time it was the same. Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. But his eyes, they knew I'd go back, and he allowed himself to be led to the cross anyway, as if my millionth chance to get it right was as valuable as my first. Would this cycle never end? Would I never get it right? Would I never win this fight? I want so badly to be good enough for you. I just can't. Just go ahead and kill me while you have the chance. But he takes my dirty face in his hands. Child, I love you. I know you don't understand or think you are worth the nails in my hands. For daughter, I knew from the moment I said go and sin no more, you'd run back to that bed. You will try to obey for a day or two, thinking you owed me for what I did for you, but you were no match against the urges of sin. I knew you'd go back to right where you'd been. Though gone your accusers with the price that I paid, you think it depends on the choices you've made. For until you can grasp that I made you new, your biggest accuser, my child, is you. So do you believe that after all you have done, my grace is enough and my love has won? Never did I expect that you'd get it right, or that on your own you'd win this fight. You cannot earn grace, and you never will. But you have to believe that I paid the price still. Let me have your sin. This is all I ask. Not that you earn it by meaningless tasks, and when you surrender, what joy shall come? Let me have your sin, daughter. The battle is won. So I lay it all down in one final desperate act. My sin, my shame, the pride of saving myself, I surrender it all. I let him take it. I still don't understand, but I'm yours. And I believe that you love me somehow, even still. And that you are enough. Though I did nothing on my own, your blood covered what mine could never. And suddenly, the most wonderful thing, grace washed over me. Somehow, without my being good enough, I was forgiven. I was clean. And since that day, I've been free. So this is the testimony of the woman caught in adultery. I was dirty. I was worthy of death, but my Jesus paid the price instead. So now I stand in victory with the sandaled man who rescued me.